IPM route. Okay, let's do this one more time. And now what you can see here is you're not seeing the loopback interface that we created because we didn't join. If you remember, we didn't join. Now if I were to do this right now while this ping is going, if I were to go under the interface here, which is interface loopback 100, and do a IP IGMP join 224.7.7.7. Now what we should see here is it going under the outgoing interface here for this 2. So go ahead and hit enter. Now if I do a show IP mroute, let's make sure I did this correctly. Of course I jacked it up. I created a loopback 200 and put the address of 100. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you here. This is what we wanted the output. So if I do a show IP mroute, what you can see now is that I've added the loopback 20 interface here to the 224.7.7.7 group, because if you look here on a show run, you can see here that, so what you wanted to see here is we created the loopback 200, we put it in the sparse mode, and we made it join the group 224.7.7.7. Now when we did the show IP mroute, you can see now that the group 224.7.7.7, this rendezvous point here, which is the local router, is now forwarding this traffic out its loopback 200 interface. Now this is different than dense mode. This is one of the main differences, whereas in dense mode it floods it out no matter what. It'll flood it out and it'll prune the interfaces, okay, based on whether it's, whether the router has an IGMP join request or not. But run, for PIM sparse mode, it waits for a request to come in, and then it builds the connection from the host to the destination that's trying to reach the host of the multicast group. So for here we had the host 10.1.10.1. Okay, so router 2 knows how to get to 10.1.10.1 because it's listening on the 224.7.7.7 network. Router 3, if you do a show IP mroute, you can see that it's learning about the 224.7.7.7. And if we would have added, say, another router in here, and it was running sparse mode with all its interfaces, and if there were no, if there were no interfaces off of the router, that were trying to join the group, the router wouldn't send any join messages to the rendezvous point. So you can see here that there is a savings from dense mode to sparse mode. There's a big savings in bandwidth that's consumed over the network. So you can see dense mode floods the network and waits for it to get those requests, to not receive, whereas sparse mode waits and doesn't flood the network unless it receives join requests from specific hosts. So that's the basics of PIM sparse mode. Thanks for staying with me. I know we had some problems here with our network, or it was probably just with me, but anyway, what we'll do is we'll probably do a couple more multicast labs later on. I'll get into setting up some other stuff, maybe do some filtering and changing some timers and time to lives and stuff like that. So in review, we have here basically two processes that take place. The source sends the packets to the router called the rendezvous point. The source here is our loopback 10.1.10.1, which which initialized the multicast stream to 224.7.7.7, and then the rendezvous point sends the multicast packets to the routers that have registered.
You mean registered?
Excuse me, I mean registered to receive packets for that group, which was, as we set up here, the router 2's loopback interface of 200 and router 3's loopback interface of 20. All the other interfaces and everything else was pruned, thus saving the bandwidth on the network. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon in the next one.